Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here, who's ready to wake up to walk. I'm out and about celebrating my 200th episode by treating myself to a walk along the Trent. You know, don't do that very often, do I? Just about every day. But I thought I'd get out here today to, enjoy familiar surroundings. I wanted to be really prepared, so I got up. Last few weeks it's been dark and I've had to wait around and not walked as much as I wanted to. So I wanted to get a bit of an extended walk in today. Whilst it's important to get in whatever you can, that's what I've been doing, 10, 15, 20, half an hour. Today I wanted to get a little bit more, and sort of make the most of it. So I got up early, went out when it was dark, and made the most of somewhere I really, really enjoy. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today, making the most of the things you enjoy. I think it's so important. And of course, doing DOdaily, I say I love doing it all the time, and I really do. So it's important to sort of realise that and realise the things that work. Just before I kind of go on, I did say I wanted to be prepared. It's been an absolute nightmare. I nearly fell into mud. Some dogs jumped up me and then started barking. So I've had to restart a couple of times. It's not something I generally do. I try and get it all out in one go. So I've had a bit of a nightmare this morning. I thought, there you go. What can we do? But as you can see, as ever, looking absolutely fantastic. Started off by the city ground, my happy place. Jordan of I'm a Celebrity fame kind of made us all a little bit more aware of our happy place, didn't he? So thought I'd ever walk along there. First few episodes was up and down behind there. At that time I lived on that side of the river during the time I've been doing it, and now I live this side. So it's quite important for me to do that, just to sort of reflect on what's gone before, and why I do it, and sort of brings back some thoughts about how I've developed throughout, and whilst it's not been about sort of development, all I wanted to do setting out was to be consistent, to offer something that little bit different to anybody that wants to look in, to be honest and relatable. That was the most important thing, to show people that no matter what, no matter how much you do enjoy things, you do encourage people to do things, it's not always easy, and definitely over the sort of period of the coronavirus, things haven't always been easy. We've had situations thrown at us that were tough, but what I think I've been able to do is sort of take on some of my own advice, and that's not always easy either, is it? Take on some of that advice, become a little bit more resilient. I've spoke about that a lot this week. Keep working hard, keep pushing on. And I was saying to somebody a few weeks ago, it's kind of all just clicked for me. And whilst I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all, because I'm definitely not, kind of bumble my way through it, get it wrong probably more than I get it right still. But it's been something that has really helped. Even though it's almost one-way conversation, it's been my release when I've been feeling down. I've had to put a lot of my efforts into creating content, creating the video, thinking about things to say. Whilst it might seem like 10-15 minutes of me waffling rubbish, I do put a lot of work into it. I'm not looking for major accolades for that. It's something I choose to do, and something that definitely gets me through. And that, like I say, that's why I really, really enjoy what I do. And when you realise what you love doing, when you sort of accept it, when you become old enough and wise enough to realise that, and mature enough, I think it's really important, isn't it? I've been watching a programme over the last few days, Robson Green, one of these walking programmes. People will be like, oh God, not another walking programme. But I said to Kay, this is absolutely fantastic television, and I didn't quite understand to start with why I thought it, apart from the fact I thought it was okay, but then I just realised that he absolutely loves what he's doing. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago another programme with Julia Bradbury, and when you see that enthusiasm, when you see people really making the most of what they do, it makes such a difference to the way you feel, and if you're happy to see that as well, even better. A lot of the people on these programs, they just show you what they do, and you might look at it and go, that's all a bit bizarre, that's not for me. But when you see how much they love doing it, and one thing that always strikes me is that they don't really care what anybody else thinks, without saying it, without being bolshy or arrogant or headstrong. You can just see that they don't care what they do, and that's something I've learned to sort of understand. It's not always been the case, I'll be honest. I've let people get to me too much at times, but I'm learning all the time to just do what I do, and if I'm happy, if I'm enjoying it, it makes me happy for that period of time. Happiness is a thing we can't always achieve, isn't it? Because we're always striving for something else. But when you enjoy it, and really make the most of it, it's absolutely fantastic. The feeling you get from doing it is absolutely brilliant. And me getting up to walk, like I say, around the same spot most of the time, but getting to new places, making the most of what's there and available, it's absolutely fantastic. I look forward to the rest of the day. I mentioned there about last couple of weeks, it's been a case of squeezing one in, and whilst it does work, it definitely does, I won't discourage it. If I can get out for longer, make the most of the fresh air, particularly today, it's not even that cold. It's been freezing in the last few weeks. If I can get a bit more time out, it really sets me up for the day, for the weekend, makes me positive about what I'm doing. And if you're starting from that base in the first place, it's a fantastic start, isn't it? If you go into things looking forward to them, I've not got many plans this weekend, like most people, because of the lockdown. I've not got many plans most weekends, and in all honesty, but I go into it like really looking forward to what I am going to do, and then I enjoy it. I enjoy the rest. I enjoy silly little things on the television, but it's definitely a case of just enjoying it, just making the most of it, accepting that you love the things you do, whether it's something like this for me or whatever it is, the activity. I'm always encouraging that. I'm always encouraging the benefits of getting out there and enjoying the fresh air. And that's what Friday's all about, isn't it? It's just about encouraging that. Something tried to do for the last 40 weeks. I've been up every Friday morning, and I can assure you it's made a difference to my weekends. It really has. And just on that thing about loving what you do and sort of making the most of it, and being pleased to see other people doing it. I saw one of those little sort of caption picture type things on social media, about sort of making the most of what others are doing as well, and celebrating in their success. It's a picture of Serena Williams, and after she'd lost the tennis final, and we all know she's apparently a bit grumpy, and she was absolutely over the moon for a lady. Then there's another tennis player who lost the final, and she's absolutely fuming. And it just shows, doesn't it, that you can still be sort of humble in defeat. It's obviously disappointing at times. I've touched on myself about the loss and family illness, when it's been really hard, when I've really had to face up to doing this. It's been difficult at times, but by doing it, it's built my resilience. It's made me more determined to make it the way I want it, to keep going through these difficult situations. And if you find that kind of inner strength, I guess, it can take you so much further, just by wanting to get through it in the right way. It's easy sometimes to get down, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a choice people want to make, but if you go into these things, if you prepare yourself by doing things like getting out for some fresh air, getting in some activity, being happy for people, enjoying other people's success, it can just do the trick for you. I've said lots of times over the past few months, one of the best tips anybody can give if you're not feeling great is to go and help somebody else, you know, because it always picks us up. There's nothing wrong with taking some gratification from that. Something I've struggled with myself in the past, you know, is sort of accepting praise, but I'm learning to sort of take that, you know, and be proud of myself. You know, I've got no shame in saying that right now. I've done some pretty awesome things I look back on and can't believe I've done them from where it all started out. So all I really wanted to say today, guys, is just really enjoy what you're doing. Make the most of it. Love what you're doing. Spoke earlier in the week about falling back in love with running, you know, and whilst I've always loved it to some degree, it's that kind of relationship where you can be feeling it or not, and right now I'm absolutely feeling it. And when I kind of say it to myself, it makes it even more realistic, and it just makes it work. So when I get my trainers on, when I get out there, you know, I'm not going with the mindset that it's going to hurt. It does hurt, always hurts, it's never easy, but it's a case of battling through, isn't it? You know, and like I say, being positive, switching that mindset. Spent far too long in my life worrying what other people think, and going into things with the wrong mindset. So now I just absolutely love what I'm doing. So it's 200 today. In another 40 weeks it'll be 400, and so on and so on. I'm determined to keep going. And my point really has been is I set out with this to try and help one person. That was one of the things I had in my head. But I'm going to sorry, I got distracted there, lost my train of thought. I've helped one person, I've helped myself, and that's most important, isn't it? Because if I help myself, then other people are going to sort of use some of that inspiration, hopefully enjoy what I'm doing, you know, and make the absolute most of it. There's more noise about again, so I'm going to sign out now. And like I say, because I've had a bit of a disaster, I'm really pressed for time. So until Monday, guys, keep getting out there, keep getting out for some fresh air. Check out a few pictures at the end of the video. Post up your Saturday selfies from whatever activity you're taking part in. Of course, we encourage that every week. And have a great weekend. Enjoy what you do. Look forward to it. Just doing it.